Hello, everybody, and welcome to Inside the Bubble, your complete highlight news and information show from MN Hockey TV right here on Kare 11 Plus and all the Kare 11 streaming apps. Let's bring him in. Matt Harrington, you've worked your tail off this week to put together a good show for us. What do we look forward to from you here?
AP, great to be here. Yeah, we've got a lot of top plays that's coming back after missing from last week and some great games and a whole lot more. We'll get into all of that.
And Brandon Spratt, also our co-host, joins the program. You, my friend, have been on some great calls over the year. How about this one this week?
Yeah, it was another good week as we've really now hit the second half of the season on both the boys and girls schedule. This is where the games pick up just that little extra meaning.
We are going to turn it over now to the top games of the week that we saw highlights for. There were far too many to choose from, and we had some dandies. Can't wait to get in this. Gentlemen, let's roll the tape. Let's get the highlights going now.
We start you in the South Suburban Conference, Shakopee against Rosemount. First period here as the Irish are going to steal it, go the other way, and Christian Garrity with the finish, 1-0 in favor of the Irish after the first period. Shakopee, though, would answer back in the second. A break here leads to a 2-on-1. Pass across for Ben Box to tie this game up at 1. About halfway then through the second period, Shakopee looking for the lead for the first time here. They'll work it out from behind the net. Comes into the slot area and then cleaned up at the side of the net. Zach Doctor gets the finish. Shakopee, the Sabres taking a 2-1 lead. Just a couple minutes later, however, on the rush, drop pass there. Josh Toll to Paige Sherman. And the Irish in the all-whites, they tie this one up at 2. Third period in a 2-2 game. Shakopee here. Oh, look at the move to the net. Cooper Simpson showing off the mitts. He put Shakopee up by a goal. They would add one more and knock off the Irish. We then continue. Chan taking on Delano. This was a crazy, crazy game. Less than a minute in. Chan's going to get the scoring started here. Ryan McPartland out front from Jack Gleason makes it 1-0 in favor of the Storm. And then later in the first period here, all alone out front, Logan Smith from Ryan McPartland this time. It's 2-0. Into the second period we go here as Delano is going to knock this one down, and they get on the board here. Daniel Hallinan scores to make this a 1-goal game, but then Chan on the power play. Brady Robbins through some traffic. He scores, and Chan restores its 2-goal lead. And then later in the period here, the rebound cleaned up by Nolan Warner. It's 4-1 in favor of the Storm. This is where it gets a little wacky. It's now Delano here. Actually, this is Daniel Hallinan's power play goal. Mason Hargarten with the first. So it's a 2-goal game into the third. And now Delano continues on the power play. Chan could not stay out of the box in this one. Mason Hargarten there. And now they're going to tie this one up as it's cleaned up out front. I mentioned it was a crazy game. It's now tied at 4 as the Tigers come back. And now it's late. It's a 1-goal game still into the final few minutes. And it's going to come to the point. Aaron Hallinan is going to tip this one out front. Delano comes all the way back from down 4-1 to win it with 4 power play goals to snap a 5-game losing streak.
We head out to the Suburban East Conference. Cretin-Derham Hall and Stillwater. Big matchup of ranked teams here. Stillwater gets the first goal of the game here. Check this out. Goaltender Nelson is down. Stillwater takes advantage. It is Brody Dustin who gets the goal. Ponies up 1-0, but the Raiders' power play was buzzing in this one as they get the goal from Max Bennett. That ties the game up at 1 with 6:28 to go in the period. Less than, or just over a minute later, I should say, a turnover behind the net. It's costly for the Ponies. Max Anderson with a great feed there from Chorlton behind the net, 2-1 Raiders. Ponies, though, right in the first 15 seconds of the period, and they tie this game up at 2 early in the second with the goal from Luka Jarvis. This is Thompson coming into the wing. Max Thompson, a big goal for Cretin. That gives them the 3-2 lead midway through this game, and they would add a fourth here as Nate Chorlton with a nice stick. He makes it 4-2 in favor of Cretin-Derham Hall. Stillwater, though, would not go away. 3:30 left in the third. This one goes off of Dodig and into the net. Stillwater within 1, but the Raiders hang on to get the victory 4-3. Jimmy Dodig with 3 assists for Cretin-Derham Hall.
A Class A title game rematch from a year ago sees Cathedral visit Hermantown earlier this week. We pick it up second period. Bodie Medill racing all the way in from neutral, and he scores to put the Hawks up 1-0. Later into the second period we go, and it's going to turn into the River Freeman show here. Freeman, 23, scores his first and pops the water bottle a bit as well. Gabriel Swenson and Ford Skyda the assists. Then power play chance here now. Hermantown already up a pair. The one-time blast from Freeman makes it 3-0, and it was not done there. It's going to be a natural hat trick here. Watch the move. Freeman sticks with it. It sneaks its way through, and a natural hat trick, 3 in a row for River Freeman. 4 goals in the period, but Hermantown was not done there. It's going to come over here to the left wing side, and Micklin Martelak gets the goal. 5 in the middle period for Hermantown. Cathedral suffers its largest defeat of the year.
St. Thomas and Edina, number 3 versus number 5 to close out the week on Saturday night for Hockey Night Minnesota. St. Thomas power play here. It goes in from the point. That's Michael Mikan with the goal for St. Thomas Academy. Cadets up 1-0. Into the second period we go. Edina trying to tie the game. What a great save here from Cody Neeson. He was big all night long in goal for the Cadets. Now we go into the late stages of the second period. It is Mikan again with another goal for St. Thomas Academy. That put the Cadets up by 2. And then how about this? The first save is made and the rebound put home by Connery. That makes it 3-0 in favor of Cadets. That's the final score. St. Thomas with a massive win. They win both games against Edina this season. We'll take a look at the other notable scores as St. Thomas Academy defeats previously unbeaten Hill Murray. And then Warroad and Roseau, of course, a great rivalry up north. Those two teams play a couple times a year. Warroad with a 2-1 win. And then a wild one over in Andover, 8-5 win for Maple Grove. Monticello suffers its first defeat of the year as they fall to St. Cloud Cathedral by a score of 2-1. And Sartell upsetting Cloquet Esco Carleton in overtime. And Eden Prairie and Wayzata end in a tie, 6-6.
What a wild one that was. Holy cow. There was goals everywhere. 12 for Joe Cook to call on that one. Now we got to take a look and sort things out for the Care 11 top 11, guys. Let's get into it.
Boys, double A this week. St. Thomas and Hill Murray are going to switch after the Cadets win that first head-to-head meeting. Moorhead just rolls right along, winners of 15 consecutive games. Grand Rapids, a couple more solid results this week. They win against their rivals Hibbing on Saturday night. And Benilde St. Margaret's back in the rankings. They beat Eden Prairie earlier this week. They had a really close showing up I-94 on the road against Moorhead on Saturday. Solid body of work overall for the Red Knights. Has them in at number 11 this week.
Moving on to boys Class A, Hermantown jumps from 4-1 after Monticello suffers its first loss of the year as the Moose fall to number 3, Warroad at number 4, Northfield moving up to number 5. 7 through 11 stays the same, but the Hermantown Hawks have gotten some really quality wins this season, including over Warroad this week. So the Hawks, even with 4 losses, are your new number 1 team in boys Class A this week.
2 great back-to-back games for the Hawks. When we come back, we'll have a look at the girls' highlights. We'll also take a look at the Care 11 top 11s for both the Class AA and A, and a great story featuring Maxsym Cherevatenko.
My grandfather opened our doors in 1930. Ever since, we've had one main goal: keeping customers and their families comfortable. Comfort isn't just about temperature, it's about your peace of mind working with us. Our reputation is built on quality work, integrity, and a team of experts second to none. We stand behind our guarantees, our work, and our people. That's been true for over 90 years. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, the comfort you deserve since 1930.
A good neighbor would give you a cup of sugar if you asked. At True Stone Financial, We don't have any sugar, but we will give you up to $350 when you switch to a True Stone checking account. It's true, because we're True Stone.
My grandfather opened our doors in 1930. Ever since, we've had one main goal: keeping customers and their families comfortable. We stand behind our guarantees, our work, and our people. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, the comfort you deserve since 1930.
Welcome back to Inside the Bubble, where we will now take a look at the top games in girls high school hockey with highlights. And Matt had a great call out at Braemar Arena with the Pack the House at the Mar. I'm sure we'll take a look at that and quite a few of the other great games from this week.
We're going to start at the St. Croix Valley Rec Center for a Suburban East rivalry between White Bear Lake and Stillwater. And this one's going to be put home on the backhand by Carly Griffin, even strength goal in the second period to open the scoring. Stillwater, though, not going away. They fight back to tie the game. Sienna Barthélemy with the goal, 4:27 into the third period. Tied at 1 late in this game. This is Mariah Hooten waiting, shooting, and scoring. Beautiful shot there to get it past the glove. That was the game winner for Hooten as Stillwater snaps a 7-game winless streak with a win over White Bear.
Another great local rivalry as well. Lakeville North, Lakeville South. This game benefiting Sophie's squad as well. Lakeville North in the dark sweaters. They're going to pick this one up on the breakaway. And Shay Swanson from Carly Hansen makes it 1-0 in favor of the Panthers. Into period 2 off the faceoff here. Going to break loose. First shot saved. Second one saved as well, but they crash in for the rebound, and Brielle Renville gets her first career goal. Congrats to her, and what a great game to score it in a big rivalry game. This is going to be Sydney Pedersen on the rush. She scores there to put the visiting Panthers up 3-0 on the road. And then in the final minute of this one late goal to add it as well. It's Annika Peterson, the finish. Number 91. How about that? You don't see a ton of 91s in high school hockey. North with the win here.
Orono and the Academy of Foley Angels. Great matchup in girls Class A over at their Richfield Ice Arena. Midway through the first, Stars looking for the first goal of the game. What a pass over to Anya Anderson as the Stars. And you hear the goal horn in the background too. Nice touch there at Richfield Ice Arena. Orono responds though. What a shot on the backhand by Zoe Lopez, one of the state's best players, ties it up. Orono looking for a go-ahead goal late in the first period rather, and they get it from Anna Rausch, who makes it 2-1. In the third now, final seconds, Orono will put it away with a goal again from Rausch. She had 2 goals to help lead the Spartans past the Stars of Holy Angels.
It was a Friday night trifecta of great games. This is the second one, BSM visiting Holy Family. First period here. Swarta way out of her goal crease. They hammer away. They get a couple whacks. Eventually, Bailey Gray is going to put it into the net for the visiting Red Knights, taking a 1-0 lead. Early second period now, Katya Sander on the rush. She makes her way to the net. Casey Cronin, her D partner, finds her there to tie it up at 1. However, BSM on the power play again. This one is Addie Morris, who gets the power play goal from Josie Vernig, who took that initial shot. And BSM would keep it up. Katie Zakryshek there through the 5-hole, makes it 3-1 Red Knights. They were not done. 3 goals in less than 2 minutes for BSM to put this game in a great spot. Ella Pasqua getting that one. Holy Family would have some fight back, though, just a couple minutes later. It's Allie DeFa, the freshman, beats the glove there to make it 4-2. And that is where we would go late into the third period. Holy Family, this in the final 15 seconds of the game. Cronin gets her second point of the night, hammering home there from the slot. Just a little bit too little, too late. The nil 4-3 winners.
Big one over at Braemar Arena, rivalry night in front of a pretty much sold out crowd at the Mar as Minnetonka, middle of the second period, looking for the first goal of the game. It is Claire Sommerfeld who gets it. Great setup from Delaney Miller as some of the younger players on the Skippers coming up big for them in this game. Edina looking to try and get something going here in the third. This one got behind Hemp, somehow stayed out. That was the story of the game for the Hornets, who continued to try and fight back. A scramble here, final minute, goaltender pulled. Nobody able to get it for Edina toward the goal. It would be cleared out by Minnetonka, and the Skippers survive in a great game full of goaltending and defense as Minnetonka defeats Edina by a score of 1-0.
Well, Matt, you said it. Those young Skippers have been outstanding this year. They get another one there. Dodge County defeats Proctor Hermantown by a score of 3-0. A big road win. The Wildcats have been road warriors this season. Warroad over Crookston for the second time. Proctor Hermantown, though, would bounce back by defeating Breck by a score of 3-1 on Saturday. Rosemont over Shakopee 4-3. Centennial Spring Lake Park 5-1 over Blake.
We are bringing it back. We're going to take a look now at the Kare 11 top 11s for the girls in the Class AA and A. Let's get into that right now.
Yes, so Minnetonka takes the season series over Edina 2-1, bumps the Skippers back ahead of the Hornets, which allows Centennial to reclaim the number 1 spot in girls AA this week. The resume is really, really close. Centennial does have a head-to-head win over Tonka about a month and a half ago. That's the only change. So that's it. It was a bit of status quo in girls AA this week.
We'll move on to girls Class A as Warroad, Orono, and Dodge County remain at number 1, 2, and 3. Proctor Hermantown gets a big win this week over Breck. The Mirage have been chugging along up to this point. They go up to 4 as Holy Angels falls to 5. Other than that, not a whole lot of changes either as Minnesota River moves up to 10. And we also welcome back the South St. Paul Packers, who have been very solid this year with a record of 14-6 so far on the season.
We're about a month away from the section playoffs, and now we have a great feature. The St. Cloud State Player Spotlight makes its return as we feature Maxsym Cherevatenko from the St. Louis Park Orioles. Guys, he didn't know any English when he got here 3 years ago, and you won't believe how great this is.
So 5 years ago, me and my Ukrainian team would come here for some hockey camps, and we would come to Minneapolis, to St. Louis Park, and we would do camps at this rink at the rec. And we would stay with American families, and I got to stay with Tyler Hess, one of our teammates. And when the war started 3 years ago, he texted me and said, because we couldn't play hockey or go to school during the war when it started. So he texted me and he said, why don't you come to US, play hockey with me and go to school here and live with me. So Tyler Hess has actually basically taught me everything. So my first year when I didn't know any English, he would say something to me and I wouldn't understand it. So I would ask him what that means in a different way, and then he would explain it to me, and that's how I got it.
And that year, it would have been his sophomore year in high school when he first came over, is when we first heard about him. And was like, oh, did you hear about this kid that's staying with the Hess family, playing in Minnetonka? You know, he's playing junior gold right now. And that was pretty much it. It was just like this really cool story of a kid who was, taken in by a family that, was one, willing to do it, and two, he was a really good kid, and just kind of living in the moment. But I got a call probably that summer that was like, hey, we're looking for a different fit. Like, it's not really working here. We think it'd be a better fit for Max too. It's closer because they live in St. Louis Park. How would you feel about if we brought both of them over to Park? And I was like, you guys do what you need to do. We're here. And that was when we really got to start to know Max, and he came in knowing he was going to sit a year, played in junior varsity and never once complained about that. Just came in and, got to know the kid he was. And he's like one of the hardest working kids you'll ever be around.
So last year, our main goalie, Josh Milton, for varsity, got hurt. But I wasn't eligible to play varsity, so it kind of opened up more spots on JV for me, and I almost played every game of the season. Kind of helped me a lot, get some playing time and be ready for varsity level.
Talk about, for a goalie, having short memory is so important, and like there's nothing on our side of the world that can rattle that kid. Like, you think about what he's seen in his life, how far away he is from his family. Like, he's not worried about, giving up 3 bad goals. Like, he's moved on to the next game before that game's over. Like, he's always ready. Yeah. No, they can't come over. So he went home last summer, and that was the first time he'd been home in 2 years. But other than that, like, it's FaceTime at best. It's he doesn't have a lot of communication with home. I know he does communicate with them, but they don't get to come see him play. And I think that's part of what I'm saying about his attitude when you think about being a good goalie and having a short memory, and like he can do, everybody else has their parents up here in the stands and gets to go home and have that family there that's going to support him. And he has the Hess family, and they're great, but yeah, his family isn't here. And so that's something that he's had to live with for a couple of years, and I know it can be hard, but it doesn't really seem to affect him.
Yeah, I actually went back last summer for 3 weeks. It was a long way to get there. 2 days.
Really?
Yeah, long flight, long bus from Poland to Ukraine. Yeah. Yeah, I got to see my family. Yeah, it was pretty nice. Yeah, my goal is to play juniors after high school, and then just to see where it takes me.
Again, the work ethic, right? I mean, when you get to the next level, the divide becomes a lot smaller. The margins are small, but the work ethic, it speaks for itself. I mean, he's one of the first guys on the ice every single day, one of the last guys off. That's a cliche, obviously, but it's true with him. Like, he really is, and he's always working to get better. And he's at home sick, and he's like, I just want to come to practice still. And I'm like, no, like we almost have to force him to stay home. And he's played every game but one for us this year, and the one he didn't play, he was bummed. And it was like, no, dude, like sometimes you need a day off. So yeah, I would absolutely bet on him at the next level just because of that alone.
I would say we're really tight as a team. We hang out a lot, and I think this group is the best one that we could have.
The athlete that he is unbelievable, and then when you put the story behind it and the person he is, we're fortunate to have him in our program.
Time to look at the top 5 network games of the week for the girls this week. Mound West Tonka Southwest Christian at Holy Family, a rematch of a game that Holy Family won big last week. Hill Murray will travel down to Dodge County. That'll be an intriguing one. Rosemont at Apple Valley. Grand Rapids Greenway at Andover could be a section final type of preview. And Moorhead at Orono, an intriguing AA at A Battle. Orono has played a gauntlet of a schedule this season.
Now we look at the top 5 boys games of the week. It is Cloquet Esco Carleton. Another big test for them as they will take on Grand Rapids. Holy Angels at Minneapolis. Both teams ranked in their respective classes last week. Edina at Wayzata in a Great Lake Conference matchup. That's on Wednesday of this week. St. Cloud Cathedral will visit Holy Family. And then Shakopee, the Sabres have been playing very well. Just missed out on the Kare 11 top 11 this week. They play Hermantown next week.
I always love those Wednesday specials. It's kind of fun. Not a lot of games. Now, my favorite segment here is the top 10 plays of the week. Keep them coming in, folks. We absolutely love it. And we had plenty to sort through and sift through. But, Matt, you put together a nice little reel for this week.
All right, top 10 plays of the week time. We're going to start over at the Hopkins Pavilion with Dodge County and Hopkins. This is a nice play for the Wildcats ahead, but it is Isaac Winkler making a big stop for Hopkins in that one. Grand Rapids Greenway taking on Forest Lake, sectional matchup. Mercury Bischoff with a beautiful snipe. She's going to be one of the favorites for Miss Hockey, certainly, this season. And how about this play, Pete? Liam Schultz getting it over to Caden Lindsay.
AO, number 8 from the familiar dot. Look at the right-hand shot, backs up. Give it to me! Boom.
Great stuff there. Wayzata Eden Prairie, the score was 5-1. It ended up being 6-6. Oh. This was a big part of it. Rio Treharn with a beautiful pass over for Alex Hall. We go now to Buffalo and Eden Prairie. Ava Jovan keeping the pad positioned nicely to make a big save. Buffalo ended up winning this game over Eden Prairie. And then Benilde St. Margaret's Waconia, a nice pass ahead here from Cam Kirchner, who finishes Pete Wagoner.
Look at this filth right here. Just sits there, protects the puck. I mean, you're not going to the backhand there. You have nowhere to go. Beautiful play.
Number 4, this is Ava Moe, the 8th grader for Eden Prairie, putting on a clinic right here. Gets it past the defender. Didn't get the win, but that was certainly a highlight for Eden Prairie.
This Phenom's made a couple of appearances, Matt.
She has. Libby Moe this time. No relation to Ava, as they go inside out. What a move from Libby Moe.
This is so sick. Look at this. Oh, she rides to the heel and then to the forehand. She's done that a time or two. Unreal.
We go out to the St. Louis Park Rec Center again. Pete, you had this play. Junior Podine.
I mean, Nick Coring is as good as it gets as a blue liner. Podine's grossly undersized against him. Doesn't matter. Protects it. He's getting absolutely savage. That's going to be 3 to 5 years for Coring. He still scores.
Number 1 play of the week, it is Cooper Simpson. You saw this in the highlights earlier. You'll see it again. Just unbelievable here from Cooper Simpson. The patience, the poise, all of it. Shakopee gets the win.
And that's Josh Toll, by the way, another great defender for Rosemount. Time to look at the Hockey Night in Minnesota girls game this week. Benilde St. Margaret's will host Hill Murray on Tuesday night. These teams met a couple weeks ago at the Silverback Shootout, and BSM put Hill Murray into running time 6-0. Hill Murray will be looking for a much more competitive showing this time. Matt, they really could use a big result as well.
Yeah, they could. They have struggled a little bit in the last couple of games, but an opportunity to beat a really good Red Knights team. We'll find out. And then Hockey Night Minnesota for the boys. We're going to head out to White Bear Lake, a big-time Suburban East matchup between Cretin-Derham Hall and White Bear Lake. Both these teams only with 2 losses, Brandon, and a great rivalry here as well.
Yes, the first of 2 meetings between the Raiders and the Bears this season. We've mentioned this is a good Suburban East year. Not only those top 3 teams, there are some other very competitive squads, but excited to be out at this one for the first matchup of these 2.
We love Hockey Night in Minnesota. Once again, for updated information, be sure to follow us at X, Instagram, or Facebook at MN Hockey TV. We'll have everything you need to know, where the games are and what you need to see there. Here's a great announcement for you. We will be doing Hockey Day Minnesota. We've come to an agreement with Hockey Day Minnesota in Shakopee for this year. From January 22nd to the 24th, 9 games will be streaming at mnhockey.tv. It's going to culminate with an incredible, we can't wait for this, alumni game, and we'll also have a special power play program from Valley Fair in Shakopee. It's going to do it for today's program. Brandon, Matt, thanks for everything you do all week and being a big part of the MN Hockey TV. We'll see each and every one of you out at a rink in your neighborhood. So long, everybody.